responsible citizens, lifelong learners, and to respect and value differences. This meeting is in order. May we have a roll call, please?
Amanda Perkins.
Here.
Christine Strugack. Here. Christy Greer. The record show Christy is not here. Teddy Hurst. Here. Chris Davenport. Let the record show Chris Davenport is not here.
Okay. Moving on to B, audience comments, agenda items only. Attendees must register their intention to participate in the public portion of the meeting by signing in prior to the start of the board meeting. If I have anyone here to make comments, the sheet is empty today. Okay. Letter C, Whiting High School principal presentation. Mr. Anderson.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak today and update you on all the happenings at Whiting High School. The agenda for today is I'll talk a little bit about our school recognition. We've been recognized for some things in the recent past. Also, student recognition, honor roll just came out, as well as some College Board programming awards and a few other things as well for students. We'll go over those. And then some staff recognition as well. Lastly, we'll end it with some enhanced programming that you may not be aware of that we've included since last year. Okay. So school recognition, as you are aware, we went through a reaccreditation process last school year, which was a team effort between myself, the counselors, teaching staff, social workers, everyone involved in the high school had a part, including the community and parents. We did do very well, which means we'll be reaccredited for another 7 years. We won't have to go through that process again until that time. Our report came back, I believe, in late August, early September, which gave us a score of 298. That is 45 points above the network average for Cognia, which is the company who does the accrediting. Also, it was only 2 points away from their highest scoring group, which is 309. So we were close to getting in that highest group, but not quite there yet. The biggest part and the part that I like the most about the reaccreditation process is it takes all of our data, all of our input, and it spits out some school-wide goals for us. So what we did, and it was a lot of areas of improvement. However, we looked at it as a staff and decided what is most important to us, what kind of coincides with what we've looked at before as a team. And we got these 5 answers. So this school year, moving forward, we want more consistent discipline. All right, so we did create a behavior matrix, which goes along with the student handbook, but it's specific to even classroom expectations that teachers can use to make sure those discipline policies are being followed and everyone has the same step-by-step processes school-wide. We've also looked at increased interventions for students with poor attendance. So this year we're doing, on the student's 6th absence, we do have them meet with our SRO, counselor, social worker. And the parent comes in, meets with those 3 individuals. They talk about where their academics are, how their attendance is affecting academics, as well as goes through our policies, such as, if a student has a license, they'd be turned over to the BMV and their license could be taken. Additionally, there are some other disciplinary measures that could be taken if it gets too bad. We also offer the Geminis program through our social work department, which is a good truancy program to hopefully get the parents and students and the school all working on the same page so the student will show up and do the best they can at our school. We also have enhanced PSAT and SAT preparation. Prior to this school year, we were only doing preparation once a week. Well, last year we moved that up to twice a week, and this year we're moving it up to 3 times a week during our homeroom. We've also prepared school-wide SAT power standards. So we looked at our data from last year's PSAT. We got in groups and we decided what standards our students struggle with the most. And now we're implementing those in every subject across the board, at least twice a quarter. So that's PSAT, SAT. We also did some special things with grouping. We looked at the data. Students who were in the SAT, they have benchmarks. So there's a math benchmark and a reading, language arts benchmark. We looked at the students who are in the potential group. That means they're very close to the benchmark, but not quite there yet. We put those students in a group for homeroom, and they'll be doing Khan Academy or individualized growth plans with the licensed teachers 5 days a week. So Ms. Brizuela is a great English teacher. She's the head of our English department. She does the English potential group. And then Mr. Simmons does the math potential group for the SAT during homeroom time. And again, that's 5 days a week for those kids. Another goal was to build positive teacher-student relationships. Is another thing we're doing during homeroom. We're going to use that time more to get to know the student, kind of have the teachers be the liaison between the parent and the school. So we want those teachers, homeroom teachers, staying on the kids, checking their grades, making sure everything's okay. If there are grades that are dropping, we're going to speak with those students every Monday. For example, Monday will be the day of the week where they're kind of checking in. And then there's some other activities that we have implemented that just help build that relationship between school, parent, student, and teacher. And then lastly, enhanced special education programming. We did have a lot of failures in our special education department for the last few years. And that's not a knock on our special education teachers who do a great job. It's just kind of nature of the beast, and coming off COVID, some students struggle more than others to get back, in-person learning and do what they need to do to be successful. So that has improved as well. And we'll get into what we're doing a little bit later on with that. I do want to say last year was our 97% graduation rate, which is the highest in school history. What we attribute that to, on top of the great work our counseling department and teachers do, is in-class remediation. So we do have success plans now where if the student's failing, the student or the teacher is expected to meet individually with that student and then communicate this plan to their parent, which the plan would include an intervention of sorts, reward, and then a date where they're supposed to reach that target behavior or target grade. Edmentum's the program we switched to this year, which also allows which is the online program. So we were using Edgenuity, now we're using Edmentum. It's a credit recovery program, but it's also a real-time remediation program where teachers can, let's for example say all the class passed Unit 3 but one student. That student can go back and get shot assignments through Edmentum to kind of make up the lost learning from Unit 2 that everyone else passed. And then on the back end, if the student still does not pass the class, obviously we have that credit recovery program through Edmentum. Additionally, we have study tables, which are done during lunchtime and during the second semester. So instead of going to lunch, they'll come to the library to work on their credit recovery. And then we also have assignment recovery the last 4 weeks of each quarter, where they're with the licensed teacher working on those assignments that they missed. And that's for any student who misses an assignment who's also failing that class. Student recognition. A lot of students have been doing big things around Whiting High School lately. Madison Micah is our Lilly Endowment Scholarship nominee. The Lilly Endowment is a scholarship that covers full tuition for 4 years and an annual $900 stipend for books and equipment. The first round of the application process is done online and is reviewed blindly by a committee. Madison has gone through that part and is on to the second round, where she'll be interviewed in person and also take into account her GPA, SAT, ACT, the personal statement essay, leadership essay, community essay, and the top applicants then move on to the interview round after that. So she's doing well. Her next round is on Tuesdays. College Board Recognition Program. We had a lot of students honored from their work on the PSAT and or AP exams, and those were Jonathan Campos. He was the first generation and Hispanic Award. Rachel Jibb was a first generation Scholar Award. Eric Martinez, also first generation Hispanic. Madison Micah, also first generation in Hispanic. Joaquin Sanchez won the Hispanic Award. Elizabeth Strezzo, first generation, and Diego Torres was both first generation and Hispanic. So that criteria is they need to score in the top 10% of test takers from the state on the PSAT and MSQT, or earn a 3 or higher on 2 or more AP exams. So those are pretty stringent standards, and a lot of students got those awards. So lastly, they needed to earn a cumulative GPA of a B+ or higher. So congratulations to all those students. Additionally, we have the honor roll that just came out for first quarter. Click on this. And when you have time, please look at this. We'll go through the A's, but there is also A's, A, and B's on this. So Gabriel Cabrera, Leonardo Gutierrez, Faustino Correcto, Alexa Munoz Herrera, and Alejandra Perez were our freshmen who got all A's. Anna Costa, Anna Cornejo, Brianna Hernandez, Madeline Monroe, Leilani Muniz, Sophia Perez, Richard Player, and Marlene Tuck were the sophomores. Juniors included Alejandro Alvarez, Andrea Cabrales, Lila Garcia, Sofia Garcia, Julian Hernandez, Nevaeh Kender, David Moreno, Icy Pozo Perez, Diego Torres, Fatima Torres, and Mildred Vargas Hernandez, as well as Mia Yanez for the juniors. And then the seniors, Anna Fiji's Carr, Brizeda Lopez, Eric Martinez, Madison Micah, Rihanna Player, Ileana Rodriguez, Julissa Rojas, Elizabeth Strezzo, and Ariana Vianello. So congratulations again to those students for earning all A's. And again, if you go to our news section on our school website, you'll be able to see the A and B honor roll as well. In addition, on our school website, you'll also be able to see our Oilers of the Week, which we still do. It's a continuation from last year. So that is based on our 5 core values: self-discipline, responsibility, self-advocacy, grit, and growth mindset. Each week our teachers nominate students who exemplify those 5 core values, and then the student with the most votes gets honored on our website and has a dress down. All right, staff recognition. Jeremy Long was honored by the Allen Law Group as one of their teachers of excellence for the month of July. He is a longtime science teacher at Whiting High School, as you probably know. Does a great job. He's also an instructional leader and our head science Olympiad coach. Staff member of the quarter for the last quarter of last school year was Deborah Bross. She's our treasurer / secretary in the main office. The teachers also nominate this each quarter, and below that is what teachers said about Debbie. She goes way beyond her duties as a treasurer, always very helpful, positive, and uplifting, creates a smooth functioning office. And I will not disagree with any of those things as someone who works very closely with Deborah Bross. So congratulations to her. Lastly here, I just wanted to remind everyone that anyone, parents, community members, students can all nominate a staff member or shout them out at Whiting High School by using that link below. It's also located weekly. I update it weekly on our staff website. It's good to get that feedback from everyone involved. Enhanced programming. Success plans we talked about briefly. I do want to share the data that after this quarter we looked at our failure reports and the 43% decrease in failure rate since Q1 of last school year, and then a 53% decrease in Fs from Q1 in 2022. So we've dramatically decreased the amount of Fs in our school, and we attribute that to a variety of things. More importantly, I wanted to touch again on success plans. That's something we monitored recently, which was weeks 6 and 8. So each teacher in the building on weeks 6 and 8 looks at their students failing, and they come up with these interventions that have target dates, target goals, rewards, and then communicate that with the student and their parents. And then typically we see an increase in those grades in the next couple of weeks after that. We've also improved our RTI process, response to intervention, in our special education programming. Looking at the results of that, we had a 30% decrease in special education students who received 2 or more Fs since Q1 in 2023, and a 40% decrease since Q1 of 2022. So again, we're seeing each year we're getting a little bit better, which is positive to see. This year on the special education side of things, we've added a special education teacher for a half day at the high school. She also was doing something last year in elementary school that the district was kind enough to lend her to us for half a day, and she does a lot of that that middleman between the parent and the student, and reaching out to teachers for students saying, hey, what does this student need to make up? What are they working on today? And then they work during resource time with that student to make sure that they've done what they need to get done. Attendance, we've already gone through our enhanced attendance procedure this school year, which I feel like is benefiting. I don't have the data yet, but it is beneficial for those students we have met with for their sixth absence. I know they've all improved. PSAT and SATs programming we've touched on. Homeroom, there's special potential groups that we've discussed, also those school-wide power standards that all teachers are doing, and then the increased homeroom PSAT preparation from 2 days a week to 3 days a week. Last, I'd like to talk about our JAG program, which we brought to the school this year. Our teacher's name is Mr. Julian Espino, and he's done a great job with his 44 students who are enrolled in this program. Basically, we're getting those students to learn skills, get hands-on experience, receive a year after they graduate to get that support from the JAG program where they may help them get jobs, interviews set up, and things of that nature. So basically, we're nurturing students through as they transition from junior, senior year of high school into the actual workforce. And thank you again. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice job.
Congratulations.
Lots of great things going on.
Yeah.
Thank you, Simon. Okay. Superintendent's report.
Okay, let's start with October is a large reporting month for all schools. We now have, I believe, 10 reports that are due in October. They used to spread them out, but the DOE has kind of all grouped them together. So I'll just highlight a couple of them that's related to services, funding, and accountability. Our ADM fall count was certified, so our final numbers are 376 K through 5 students at Nathan Hale. That is a loss of 17 students from last fall. 250 students at Whiting Middle School, that's a loss of 9 students from last fall. And 446 students at Whiting High School, that's a gain of 7 students from last fall's count. So we ended up with a grand total of 1,072 students. Last fall, we were at 1,091. So it's a loss of 19 students from the fall of 2023, which translates financially to $143,675 in funding into the education count. Our language minority count for our English learner students has been finalized. This is what, depending on the number we have, this is what our Title III funding is based on. We have a total of 334 EL students in our district. That's a decrease of 15 from last year. However, the needs are higher this year, even though we have less. So 182 of those students are English proficient. So once a student is determined to be English proficient, they're not receiving services, but they are monitored. And that's 51% of our students. So we do have 163 students, that's 49% that are receiving EL services. And some are non-English speaking, so they're level 1s. We have 90 at Nathan Hale, 60 at Whiting Middle School, and 46 at Whiting High School. So it's a larger population. Our free and reduced lunch status was also reported this month as part of our pupil enrollment. We are at 68% of Whiting High School students qualifying for free and reduced. Last year, we were at 64, so that's an increase there. 66% at Whiting Middle School, that's remained the same, and 72% at Nathan Hale, which is an increase from 71% last year. So overall, we're at 68.2% K through 12 for free and reduced lunch status, and previously we were at 67. Quick update on our auditorium and middle school roof project. Our bond sale took place on Wednesday, October 9th. It went very well. We went out to sell $8,295,000 in bonds. We received a premium of $882,540, which is good. That's great. So it's more than expected. So we had a total sale amount of $9,177,540. So that's great. The cost of issuance of those bonds is $182,000 and some change. So the ending amount for our project fund is $8,995,327.50. So we were up over $700,000 in premium, so that's really great. We also expected that with the amount of bonds we were selling, that would be a tax increase of 17 cents, but it's ended up to only be 15.5 cent increase. increase, so that's better too. That's positive. Our bond closing will be taking place on November 6th. Whiting Middle School roof project, which is the second part of our main big project. The bids are now open. They opened last week on the 25th for the Whiting Middle School roof project, and they will remain open until November 19th. The bids will be publicly open here on November 19th, and then we will go through the same process as we did with the auditorium, and the board will be awarding the bids at our normal November 25th meeting. Okay. I think I've talked to you before about the BP, the SCP commission, which is the Supplemental Emission Reduction Project. So there was a settlement between BP and the government, and as a result of that, they are to put money into the surrounding communities that are, butted up to the BP property to help with reducing emissions. So I was asked to serve on that committee last year, and we have met several times since this summer. Our last meeting was on October 11th. We now have approval from the committee to move forward with our purchase of a propane 66 passenger bus. That will replace our bus number 1, which is the next one up for replacement, and it is a diesel vehicle. The grant was originally written to replace diesel vehicles with either electric or propane or cleaner gas vehicles, and it's for nonprofits. The city can use it, schools, YMCA, churches. So there's members from all of those areas that serve on this committee. We've also asked for an electric pickup to replace one of our old maintenance trucks and an activity vehicle to replace the next AV, which is up for replacement in our district plan. These two have not been approved yet, and the reason they haven't been approved is these are gas vehicles, they're not diesel. And the original agreement with the federal government was for diesel replacement, but it turns out a lot of the entities on the committee do not have diesel vehicles, so they're going back to see if they can change that to be gas vehicle, because obviously from even gas to electric or gas to propane, it's cleaner burning and it will decrease emissions. So the cost of the propane vehicle is going to be $172,975, which BP will be covering through the grant. So that's a win-win for us.
Yeah, nice.
Okay. Parent-teacher conferences took place last Wednesday. Everything went very well with that. We did have, at Nathan Hale, we had 285 parents attend, which was 76%. At Whiting Middle School, we had 93 parents, which is 37%. That's up 3% from last year. And at Whiting High School, we had 115 parents attend, which is 26%. And that's about average for high school. That's it.
All right, thank you. Okay, Director of Finance report.
Okay. The football field parking lot revenue, we did receive a check from the city last week, in the amount of $1,311.08. This is 25% of the share of the parking lot revenue that the city earned over the summer using our parking lot. So that those funds will be divided amongst the buildings, and I've just divided them per their ADM, so they're going to get about $1.22 per student. So I will send checks to them, and that will be used for the I forgot what they're using it for. PBIS, that's what they're using it for. I'm sorry, I drew a blank there. On the claim docket, also tonight, we had 2 transfers on page 62. The transfer in the amount of $283,627.24. This was for the Q3, July through September, education fund to operations fund transfer. This is for the category 3 and 4. This was board approved last fall on resolution 1023. We are allowed to transfer up to 15% of our education fund revenue. This is 12%. The actual expenditures were about 24%. So, on page 63, there is a transfer for indirect costs from ESSER 3 into the operations fund for $32,545.08. And this expenditure will close out the ESSER 3, so we'll be done with ESSER 3 now. On tonight's agenda, we have resolutions 1424, which is the adoption of the appropriation and tax rates for budget form 4. Adoption of Resolution 1524, which is the capital projects plan, which states that there's been a plan established. We have a public hearing on September 26th, and this will be submitted to the DLGF for after the adoption. Adoption of bus replacement plan is Resolution 1624. Adoption of the resolution to transfer from education to operations. This authorizes the transfer of funds from the education to the operations funds not to exceed the 15%. The amount that we have not to exceed is $1,441,000, and that's for budget year 2025. The last resolution will be to reduce appropriation. This just allows us to reduce the excess appropriations in this budget year. So that's for 2024, which will allow us to capture a higher line one for budget year 2025. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Okay. Moving on to D, the consent agenda, number 5. Motion to approve all consent agenda items as presented. Do we have a motion?
I'll second.
Motion from Patty, second from Christine. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Moving on to E, new business. Number 1, hearing on tentative collective bargaining agreement with the Whiting Teachers Association for the 2024-2025 school year.
As required by Indiana Code, we are having the WTA tentative agreement hearing this evening. We reached an agreement with the Whiting Teachers Association after 2 negotiation meetings that took place on October 2nd and October 10th. The school city of Whiting current salary range prior to this year's negotiations was $46,500 for base salary, and the top salary was $80,171. This year, we are utilizing the flexibility that's allowed in teacher compensation by using a reduce the gap model, and this is what we also did 2 years ago. The purpose of this model is to reduce the gap between the minimum base salary and the average teacher salary in the district. And by differentiating the increases to the base, it also helps us to address those teachers that are in the middle that have experienced salary compression for those years between 2014 to 2016, when there was only stipends given. The new starting salary is being raised from $46,500 to $48,000. So that will be for any new teacher employed full-time 100% during the 24-25 school year. We do have 52 teachers that are eligible for participation in this year's compensation plan. In our Reduce the Model Gap, all eligible teachers will receive a $500 base increase for the evaluation factor. The salary increase for the experience factor is going to be used to reduce the gap. Teachers with 1 to 5 years experience will receive $1,500 on their base, so that with the $500 is a total increase of $2,000 to their base salary. Teachers with 6 to 25 years experience will receive $2,250 to their base, and with the $500, that will be a total of $2,750 to their base. And teachers with 26 or more years experience will receive $750, and with the $500, a total of $1,250 to their base salary. The second part of this model.
Wait, say that last one again? 25 years?
26 years and up will receive $750 plus the $500
Okay.
for a total of $1,250, $1,250 to their base. The second part of this model are the compensation plan stipends for teachers to make sure that all teachers receive a combination between their base increase and their stipend to receive $2,750. So the teachers in the middle are receiving that amount to their base, so they will not receive a stipend. Teachers with 1 to 5 years will receive a $750 stipend, and the teachers with 26 plus years experience will receive a stipend of $1,500. We've made consistent increases in our starting teacher salary. When I originally became superintendent, we were at $36,361, so we're up to $48,000, which is an increase of $11,640 which is really pretty good, especially being that we don't have a referendum, and we are able to manage our finances in that way that we can consistently provide raises to our teachers. We're continuing with the additional compensation stipend of $1,200 for all the teachers in the hard-to-fill positions, which are the dual credit, advanced placement, our licensed and certified EL teachers, our licensed and certified special education teachers, and our crossover teachers. So there are approximately 22 teachers who do receive that stipend. We also have in this agreement a $1,000 retention stipend to all returning teachers. Our new salary range then after these increases will be $48,000 at the bottom, top salary $80,921. And our average teacher salary is now at $64,460. In addition, the state always gives us the teacher performance grant. We do not have much information on that. Now that is available to all highly effective and effective teachers. And in the past, it has averaged between $600 to $700 per teacher. So we are expecting to receive that. We also do expect to receive the Early Literacy Achievement Grant, which was new last year, but it was budgeted for both years of the biennium. So we should be getting that this year. That's given to teaching staff who deliver literacy instruction to students in grades K through 3. And last year, those teachers in that area received approximately $580 stipend for that grant. All the compensation model language has been updated to include all the current IRB requirements and recommendations. The estimated cost of the salary increase to the base is $123,600. The cost of the stipends to teachers, and includes the retention stipends and the hard to fill, $109,400 for the total cost of this year's compensation increase for just the teaching staff at $233,000. The overall cost of our teachers' salaries for the 24-25 school year is $3,855,518, and that does not include the cost of benefits. All salary increases, once our agreement is ratified, will be retroactive to July 1, and the contract is a one-year contract in effect till June 30th, 2025. Do you have any questions?
You don't?
No.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to number 2, approval to adopt the 2025 budget. So we have the education fund proposed budget estimate, $10,801,831, with a proposed maximum tax rate of 0. The debt service fund proposed budget estimate, $2,012,241, with a proposed maximum tax rate of 0.4725. Operations fund proposed budget estimate, $5,153,948, with a proposed maximum tax rate of 1.5729. The rainy day fund, a proposed budget estimate of $1 million, proposed maximum tax rate 0. Total proposed budget estimate $18,968,020. Proposed maximum tax rate 1.0454. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion, I'll second.
Motion from Christine, second from Patty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Number 3, approval to adopt resolution number 14-24, appropriations and tax rates. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
Motion from Patty, second from Christine. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Number 4, approval to adopt resolution number 15-24, capital projects plan 2025 through 2027. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
Motion from Christine, second from Patty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Number 5, adoption of resolution number 16-24, bus replacement plan for 2025 through 2029. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion. Second.
Motion from Patty, second from Christine. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Number 6, approval to adopt resolution number 17-24, transfer from the education fund to the operation fund in 2025. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
Motion from Christine, second from Patty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Number 7, approval to adopt resolution number 18-24 to reduce appropriations in 2024. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
Motion from Patty, second from Christine. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Number 8, approval to participate in the Indiana ESC Co-op Food Service Distributor RFP process for the 2025-2026 school year. Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Motion from Christine, second from Patty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. And then number 9, facilities request. Approval of facilities usage request by the Whiting Elks for the use of the Memorial Gym and New York Avenue parking lot for the Hoop Shot event on 12/28/2024 from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Do you have
I'll make a motion.
a motion?
I'll
Okay.
second.
Okay, motion from Patty, second from Christine. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. And then moving on to letter F. Public oral comments are limited to 3 minutes in length. Let the notes reflect, we don't have any audience members here to make a comment. Okay, and then letter G, adjournment.
I will make a motion and I will second.
Motion from Christine, second from Patty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, meeting adjourned, 6:42.
Okay.
That's it. Thank you.
You don't need these anymore, though, right?
No.